today's video really here is Wednesday morning, and we're about to begin our layout build. I am a few days off schedule, that's okay. Time the video up by tonight. So without further ado, we're going to build the Season 4 layout with the assistance of my brother.
Hello there, and we are back after a video that's taken longer than expected due to personal situations. Finally, you've made it to the end. That song is annoying as hell, I know, but it's the only thing I had on iMovie right now that wouldn't make you want to jump off a bridge. So, hopefully that's off by now. If it's not, I apologize. But here it is. Here is the finished product. Taking a quick overview. I can never find the perfect shot that would get the entire layout in that shot, and I apologize. So there were a lot of blind spots, I'm aware, very much aware, in that video. So don't hate me for that. So some things just popped out of nowhere when I was switching shots. That's because you did not see me making it. So, and this layout is technically complete, but at the same time not complete, in the sense that there are a lot of spots that can be expanded on when I get extra track, and that was an intentional move, and I'll show you those spots throughout the video. I call them extension areas, and they're put in certain places on the layout, so like, if I wanted to, I could connect it to another part, and it would look better, in a sense. So like, there are upgrading plans for this layout, and I'll point those out to you on our tour. As you can see, this layout has no trains on it, and it looks very bland, except we have one train in the corner there. That happens to be my favorite spot on the layout. I think it turned out best. It was one of the first spots built, as you saw in that time lapse, and that is Tidmouth Sheds. Finally, I have a wooden railway brand Tidmouth Sheds. Hallelujah to the world! You do not know how long this has bugged me, but I finally have one. Hooray for middle class budgets! I finally got one. So, let's go down here and zoom in on a little blue E2 tank engine sitting in those sheds. That is Thomas. And if that Thomas looks different to you, then that means you are not crazy. You are actually correct. This Thomas is the light up. I don't even remember the name. It's probably some goofy name. But it's like the light up Thomas. There you can see it on the side. And you're probably asking, Ringo, why do you have that on the layout? And that is because that'll be the new Thomas in my series. Yes, that is right. I really like I don't know another word for it, but the architecture of this model fits really well. And so I decided I'm going to use it. Now I might abandon that in mid-season, who knows, but for now, he is the planned model. So here is Tidmouth Sheds, or the Tidmouth area in general, actually. And if you're not getting a very good picture, I apologize, this is being shot with my iPad. So here's Tidmouth Sheds, and I really like how this part turned out with the brown turntable and the 5-way switch. I kind of prefer that more than the roundabout action turntable, because if you watch the series, especially in Season 1, they didn't have a turntable. The turntable was like in here, and they did have like a 5-way thing that came into one and then into the turntable. So I really like how this looks. I also like how the 5-way switch kind of just matches the image of the roundhouse. So I thought that turned out really well, and I'll probably keep that for other seasons. And so this is just the Tidmouth area, and we'll start on this line in the top right and go around, and we come to Tidmouth Station. this is another, let me flip the camera. This is another really good part of the layout, or another part that, I cannot find my wording today, but another part that I really thought turned out well. And this Tidmouth station has 3 lines, here, there, and behind it. And behind it, this is an idea stolen directly from KeyCrate24. Not going to cover it all, just going to accept the fact that I totally stole it, and I'm acknowledging it. That is Upper Tidmouth on that top line, but it doesn't belong to the Sodor Railway, and I'll get to that in a second. So these are Sodor lines. This one is not. The top one is not. And the reason for that will be explained later. But that is Upper Tidmouth, and these 2 lines are Lower Tidmouth. And for example, a particular engine could go by, drop his passengers off what would be the top floor of Tidmouth. They come down, and they can go here. That was directly stolen, so we'll stay on this line. We'll go, gosh, there's nowhere to set. This is tight. Staying on that middle line, we'll go under a viaduct this way to Elsbridge. Elsbridge turned out pretty well. That wasn't the original plan to put Elsbridge, but I thought it worked well, so we're going to keep it. That is Elsbridge Station. Those 2 lines, of course, are Elsbridge. And it kind of reminds me of what it looked like in seasons 1 and 2 in an odd way, but that's just me. Or was that Wellsworth? I don't remember. But I like this part a lot. And so, that is Elsbridge Station. My bad. That is Elsbridge Station. And that's you can see that's on the outside of the layout. I really like that area. So if you keep going down this line, you go through that tunnel and to the scrapyard. Way over there. That is the scrapyard. I didn't turn out as originally as planned, but I liked it. So this year, we have a scrapyard, because that's the only piece I have from the whatever Reg and Percy set. And you can see it has a little loop that goes around and goes back into the main line. That is for the particular engine that'll be running and managing the scrapyard. And there were original plans for the scrapyard that did not end up working due to lack of track, but that's okay. I still like how it turned out. You could probably see that broken crane over there. That just happens to be scrap. So that fits perfectly, and we're going to pass, now we're going to pass these power lines, go into a little bump in the track, and come to kind of the coal/quarry area. And of course you can tell that's not Winrail or Grand, but whatever. This is the coal area where engines come, get coal, and are on their way. This will also double as the quarry. And this is, if you're wondering, this is an extension part. These 2, or these 3 can be replaced by a switch, and I can make a siding right there to make it look more like a quarry. So if you were wondering about that, that's what that is. So we'll continue down that line. We'll go to the drawbridge. And at the drawbridge, you have a couple of options. You go under the drawbridge and immediately hit a switch where you can either go straight, take a T-rail in towards Knapford, or go left and go around this loop where the Brendan Bay fishing area is. That is usually over at the docks, but not this year. I thought it just worked right there. So that, it's out of place, but I just thought it looked good. You can go around this loop, over the drawbridge, into that siding where the orchard is, as you can tell by the trees, or continue through Henry's Forest, through another tunnel, and go into that area. We'll get to that later. Right now, we're going to go right. Yes, we're going to go right under that level 1 viaduct, through that straight on, past the signal, into Knapford Station. Knapford Station was not, again, another call on the spot changes to the original plans. Didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, but that's okay. You'll come into that line, and you'll go into platforms 2 and 1. From there, and so this is Knapford Station, located semi-close to the center of the layout. It turned out not as originally planned, but that's okay. And I apologize, this is running really long. And so we'll keep going through Knapford, and you can go back to that where that switch is, and you can either go around back to Tidmouth, or you can go straight, and you can either go up through there, which I'll get to in a second, or you'll come down around here to Elsbridge. Go over the hill, you can take a right there, and go into those random sheds in the orchard, where an engine could stay if you had to drop his trains off at Elsbridge and then go take a rest. You could go there, or you could go around into those random sidings, or you could go straight through another tunnel through Henry's Forest and back to the drawbridge. So that all connects. And that other line we'll get to in a second. Well, let's go back to Knapford. Behind Knapford, you can see it goes straight into a ramp where you can just, if you absolutely wanted to, fall onto the ground if you were a train, and that would be that. Or you could take this other line and go to another interesting part of the layout, which would be the narrow gauge shed. I'm going to have a narrow gauge shed. This is where the narrow gauge engines will stay the night. That is one of the, I think that is the only, no, not the only, but one of the very few narrow gauge exclusive lines right there. And that goes straight into the narrow gauge sheds. That's what those are. Come back into Knapford. You could go, let's check out the yard. In the yard, you could go into one of these 3 sidings, or you could go past that switch, take left on that switch, and go back into Tidmouth. But we're going to go in another direction, past that stop and go signal. Come around to where this switch would go off into 2 sidings. But we're going to keep going.
Sorry, I'm running low on storage, so we're going to have to make this quick. Now you can go into that viaduct, into this bendy track out near another field, and come to that switch and go into the docks where there are a lot of cranes, a lot of stuff, and 3 vines. Now at the docks, we can ramp off there where that switch is, go into the viaduct again, and into Maithwaite Station. And then that line could keep going. You can keep going on the line into that shed near Tidmouth, or you could hop on that switch and go back to Tidmouth. Or you could leave the docks and go back to Tidmouth. So that wraps up kind of that part of the area. Now let's get kind of back over where the orchard is, where those 2 random sheds are. And we are going to go to a brand new, never seen before part of the layout. You see those 2 viaducts? And just remember that this will be crucial during the series. We'll start here where the abandoned mine is. You can go into the back area behind Tidmouth on that viaduct. Really bendy and tight. Stay on that line, go past Upper Tidmouth, under to the where the red bridge is. And we're going to follow that line. Now this would actually be, we're going in the opposite direction of what line this will operate. But if we were on this line, we'd enter into what is a very small, but again, it's going to be an area to expand, part of the line, except this is not Sodor anymore. We're now in Coldyfell. Well, this is Arsdale and Coldyfell. Arsdale, of course, is very small. You just go off into that T-rail, into those works / paint shop. That'll be crucial for the rest of the season. You could go into the works / paint shop and get repaired or get painted. Come back and deliver paint to Sodor, or just stay there the night. You could also go left and go into Coldyfell, where you'll go into the only station on Coldyfell Railway, which is right there on that bend. Go on this line. You can take a switch, hop on there, and go back using the Coldyfell line. Go back around to Tidmouth, or you could go straight and go into the deeper part of Coldyfell, where you'll go over that bridge, go back up, take a very tight turn around, go back down, and finish there. This part will definitely expand as the season goes on. And those 2 things are just little houses. People live up here in Coldyfell. So zooming up, this is not Sodor, this is the Arsdale and Coldyfell Railway. And they are very small, but they will be crucial as the series goes on, and you'll find out why. So that about wraps up this video. It ran longer than expected, but that's okay. So here's one more good shot of the main layout back here. And so I guess without further ado, this is Ringo Railway saying goodbye, and thanks for watching.